Hey everybody, we are back with another video at Atomic Arcade. Today we're working with our Miyoo Mini again, and a couple of weeks ago we ordered some customization mods from Sakura Retro Modding on Etsy, and we've used this Etsy store before to modify our 351V, and I thought we should give the same treatment to the Miyoo Mini. Obviously, you can tell I'm a huge fan of the original DMG Game Boy design and the aesthetic, and anytime I have one of these devices that kind of takes its cues from that design, I like to modify it to get it as close to that design as we can find. So this is the first time that I'm going to be opening up a Miyoo Mini, so I thought it might be fun to just going to go through it with you guys and show you what kind of roadblocks we find. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Obviously, the first thing you're going to want to do is take out the battery from the back of the unit, just to make sure you don't have any unexpected electrical issues. This is a aftermarket battery. It's obviously not the Miyoo battery. It's a Samsung battery. I've gotten a couple of replacement batteries for this unit. It's one of the reasons why I like this particular device. You can use these Samsung batteries, and they are easily swapped out as opposed to the V2. Obviously, the V2 is a little bit more difficult, and it is a custom cell, so it's one of the reasons why I like the V1. However, of course, I do have a V2 on order just to take a look at it and see what it really looks like. But I'm a big fan of these hot swappable batteries to get them out. So little tap and it comes right out. Now in the back here we have 6 screws that looks like we're going to have to unscrew in order to get this guy open. So let's get to it. Okay, now let's see how easy this... Ooh, look at that. Came right open. No issues there at all. So the back cover comes off straight away with the buttons in the unit. Doesn't look like they're going to fall out if I let them go, so that's good. We don't have to worry about that. And there's no cables in the back that are keeping the back cover on, so we can kind of set that aside for later. Now, it looks like there are no additional screws holding in the PCB of this unit. Let me take a look here real close. I don't see any additional. See anything additional holding this in. I'm going to be super careful here because I'm not sure how the display is secured to this PCB. So what I might do is lift up this display cable here and detach it. Because if the display is adhered to the case, I'm not really going to want to mess with that. I'm going to go get a plastic sponger here. It's always handy to have one of these kits in case you need it for anything, as I do today. A plastic sponger here. Lift up that lock and work out that display cable. There we go. Let's see what we got here. There we go. So that was much easier to lift out once we disconnected that display cable. So that's a word to the wise. It looks like we discovered that our volume knob is slightly deformed from the factory. I guess that's why sometimes it's a little harder to scroll through. But that's okay. We don't need to worry about any of that. So we'll take the PCB and set it over here for later. And now we have access to the buttons on the unit. Now, obviously, we are not going to be doing anything with the D-pad today. All we're really going to be replacing is the buttons. I bought 2 sets of them, just in case. So we are going to take these 4 buttons. And we are going to replace the ones that are here, right? There we go. There we go. Now, the reason that I went with Sakuro Metro Retro modding is because I have faith that they have done the research to make sure the buttons are exactly where they need to be and exactly the right size so that they fit perfectly. And it looks like they do. So that is great news. Make sure that this D-pad is nice and secure, and it is. We're going to replace the membrane. Place the membrane here. Make sure that it fits in right. Looks good. And then we're going to replace that PCB. Now, from experience in other devices, one of the hardest parts is getting everything to fit quite back in correctly. Like one, for instance, this volume wheel that I'm so fond of, along with the power button up top, along with the display cable, all fitting in exactly the right way. But, to be honest with you, that wasn't that hard. Make sure we give a little press, make sure we're good to go. Looks like we are. Buttons are all functional, D-pad is moving. So we should be good to go. Let's re-secure this display cable here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but obviously this is one of the hardest parts to get right. Just gotta fit it in there. Like I said, one of the hardest parts. One thing you want to make sure is that the lock is in the open and upright position, because if it is not, you will never be able to fit it in there. It's a plastic spudger. Close up that display cable lock. Yep. Here you go. Nice and flush. So, after that's finished, all we should need to do is put our outer case back on, which fits in quite nicely. Make sure that the buttons are working, and they are. Okay, so buttons still work. Face buttons are good. D-pad is good. Start select. Middle button. Power button is still clicky. Okay. So let's put our battery back in. And case back on. And the moment of truth. Ha! There we go. Screen turns back on and the unit is powering up. Booting into our Onion OS, and we're done. So that was a pretty simple and easy, quick installation of these buttons. I can tell you that the color of the buttons compared to the DMG on camera, they do look a little different than in person, but I can tell you that the older buttons are obviously a little glossy from as much as they were played when I was a young man, but these have a nice little rough feel to the top of them. Perfect for the Miyoo Mini. And very happy with the color here. Very happy with the way this looks and the way it turned out. But we didn't stop there. We did go for a couple of other little touches here, because while I was there, I figured, let's do it right. If we're going to do it at all, let's do it right. And I got some stickers. Right? So this is a clear overlay, and it will put the A and B letters on the right side. It will also say Nintendo Game Boy, and it will put the right start select font and all that. So this is obviously for the this color. So we'll use these stickers for this color just to make it color match. I got 2 of each. One couple for the whites. And also, I got some rear stickers to replace the Miyoo sticker up here. And I thought this was a really cool touch, this Miyoo tag instead. I think I'm going to put the Miyoo tag on there. I like the way that that's reflective there. And it wouldn't be a Game Boy without the 1-800 number on the back. So we're going to put those on now. Let's see how this goes. That's just right. That's what we'll press down the center. Just kind of roll around on the sticker a little bit. Just get that nice and right. Make sure you press the edges. Make sure it adheres to around the corners or any. Oh yeah. Now. That front looks pretty good. What do you guys think, huh? I think that looks pretty good. Very similar. Great aesthetic. Perfect. Very happy with the way that came out. And then on the back, I think this one's already starting to peel up a little bit. I didn't do this. It's just like this. So I think what I'll do is I'll take this whole thing off. And set that aside over here. Take one of these and apply it its place. I do like to keep a little bit of, you know, the actual device's name, and so people, you know, can see what the device is if I ever have it out or with me or whatever. And Miyoo did do a great job with this little mini handheld. It is definitely my go-to pocket device. Great power. Well, I don't want to say great power, but certainly enough for what you need in a pocketable form like this. As opposed to the aging Palkitty V90, which was, quite frankly, in my opinion, a better pocketable device design with its flip close clamshell cover, but whose processor was completely underpowered. I like the way that came out. That looks good. Looks good on the back here. Perfect. Okay, and last one. Looks pretty good, don't you think? Not too dissimilar to the back of this guy. And also the back of this guy. Of course, this is the original serial number from this unit, so I like it. I think it came out pretty well. I think Sakura Retro Modding does a great job with all of his wares that he sells. He or she sells on their website. Fantastic work. Big fan. Like this, the only issue I had with this guy was the grill. Was the grill punch outs. Everything else came out real easy. So just be aware of that if you're going to get one of these for yourself. Beware of the grill punch outs. They are a little tricky. But other than that, great little kit for your Miyoo Mini and customization for that same unit. I'll post a link to the Etsy site where I got these stickers and where I got the buttons, and you can find the Miyoo Mini on AliExpress on a multitude of different sellers. It's not really available on Amazon, here in the States anyway. And I'm sure you can find one for sale on eBay. But to be sure, purchasing it from AliExpress directly from China or Hong Kong is going to be your best bet, and you're probably going to get the best price. Like I said, I've got a Miyoo Mini V2 on order. I purchased the clear black with the Super Famicom buttons, and I really just want to check that one out, see what it looks like, how different it is from this guy. Obviously there's no difference in the power that the chip has in it, maybe some slight differences in the screen, but I still think this guy, original Miyoo Mini, is going to be our go-to pocketable device. If you have any comments, questions, or even something you want to send in a tip about, you can send it right down below in the comment section. I'll post some links down below in the description. Hope you enjoyed the video. We've got a couple more coming. We've got some more work to do on our Odin review, and boy, did that get a lot of comments on the last video. Really happy to see you guys are engaged with that. Been running through some tests on the dock, and we're gonna see what we can figure out. I'm hoping I might be able to come up with a solution. I've kind of got a little bit of something in the works, so stay tuned and hit a subscribe button so you're notified when hit the subscribe, and then hit the little bell button so you're notified when we post another video. Next one's probably going to be about the Odin dock. Hope you enjoyed the video. Give us a like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.